Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. And welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here. We take psychological, emotional, and spiritual topics. We break them down into usable language for you. And we like to do that as often as we can. If you have a topic you'd like to see covered in our audio, please feel free to put it in the comments below. We'll do what we can to make that happen for you as quickly as possible. Now, for those who are new around here too, please subscribe, like, do all that good stuff. And let's get into the topic for this audio, and that is the benefit of this nifty thing known as emotional maturity. Now, we all basically, I hope, know what emotional maturity is, but it's the idea that we can control our emotions or be able to be reactive to our emotions without being so reactive that we're responsive and then we're living through them. But what are some signs of emotional maturity? There's a few of those I want to go over with us here today, and in let's see, about 5 or 6 of them. So the first is you keep your responsibility. The ability to respond. If we break the word responsibility down, it's a really simple concept, but a lot of people have difficulty with it. When you say you're going to do something, do it. If you have reason to not be able to do something, find a way to do it later, but also keep everyone abreast of what you cannot do. Make as few excuses as possible, make as much history as possible, change the world to be a better place, and respond with the ability to fix or to solve or to follow through on your word as often as possible. You want to get as close to 100% as possible because it is through being responsible that you can gain credibility and value in your community, with your friends, with your family, with your partner, and all those good things. Now, if you really cannot be responsible because you're going through trauma, you're going through difficulty, you're going through hardship, especially financial hardship, certainly right now with the COVID virus, and I think even the most successful people are noticing dips in their income. Finding ways to make up for that and balance your finances and do everything you need to do, but also being honest with people. Hey, I might be behind for the next 3 months or 6 months or whatever that looks like, and also looking at the future and saying, hey, when this COVID thing's done, I've got to look differently at how I plan for my future. I got to look at differently at how I save. Maybe I got to get a second job. Maybe I got to get a third job. Maybe I have to get side gigs. Maybe I have to work an 18-hour day for 2 years to have something to fall back on of a nest egg. It's different for every person, but the idea is having as much ability to respond to unforeseen circumstances as possible. The second thing of emotional maturity is to be able to step into and out of another person's shoes. Now, why do I say into and out of? And the answer to that is simply put, if you're stepping into another person's shoes and taking on their emotions and doing all the work for them, you're enabling them, and that's not healthy, it's not good, and you will eventually burn out, even if you're really good at it and you care about people a ton. If you don't have good boundaries, you will burn out. So stepping out of their shoes and realizing what emotions are yours, what responsibilities are yours, what reactions are appropriate, helpful, where to give constructive criticism, and where to let someone figure things out on their own. These are all knowing how to step into another person's shoes and step back when necessary. And that is a delicate balance to learn. I coach people through that all the time. It is harder for people that have been through abusive relationships, especially dealing with the dark triad, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and the like. It's also hard for people who are highly empathic and they don't realize what emotions are their own versus someone else's. So there's lots of reasons to reach out to a coach if you find that dealing with other people's emotions can be difficult. Certainly worth doing. Another thing, too, is you're open to help. You're open to assistance. You're willing to grow and learn in every possible direction. You realize that you may know a lot, but you don't know everything. You realize that things are constantly changing and evolving, and therefore it's necessary to learn as often as you can. Now, learning doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be book smart, although that works for some people. Other people, it's being auditorily smart and being able to repeat what you hear. Other people, it's logistically smart and being able to apply what you hear. Other people, it's being people smart and being able to empathize with others. There's all sorts of intelligence, and finding a way to further and strengthen your position of personal intelligence is super important in everything we do, say, and every action we take. Another thing that emotionally mature people do is they drop as much entitlement as possible. Now, there's great debate within the psychological community whether some entitlement is healthy, right? Like, are we entitled to human rights? Probably. Although there are those who are in the agnostic or atheistic community that say we have no human rights and that those are all made up concepts, and so if you fall in that belief, then one would say no. But to be grateful for what you have. Did you eat today? Yes. Did you have a roof over your head today? Hopefully, yes. Do you have skills with which you can make money even if you're unemployed or underemployed? Yes. Do you have your physical health at least to the point where you can function in your day-to-day life? Yes. Do you have people you can talk to? Yes. In other words, a lot of times the people that go through the greatest emotional and mental hardship are the people who don't take time to focus on what they're grateful for. I know, and I will be completely transparent with everybody listening to this. Before my body gave out on me and I almost died multiple times, from August of 2018 forward, I took a lot of things for granted I shouldn't have. I also let other people take me for granted and worked myself to the bone and made myself physically sick. So finding that balance of working hard, working smart, and being grateful for what you have is imperative to the continuation of your life and your standard of living. In other words, if you don't do it, it will eventually come out on you somewhere. The last thing is the ability, and this is an advanced concept, and there are people well into retirement age who have not learned this concept. Usually they have difficulty learning it if they've been through severe trauma, processing one's emotions before reacting. In other words, there's a difference between I feel, therefore I'm going to do, and I feel, but it's negative if I take this action. So, a person who knows how to process their emotions may want to kill someone, may talk about killing someone, they may yell, they may scream, they may punch a pillow, but they don't pick up the gun. They may talk about relapsing into drugs or alcohol, but they don't actually do it. There's the ability to process the emotion of this is what I want, but it's not healthy for me. And choosing that healthy road in the end is the ability to process the emotion without acting on it. So many people, I would say a good 70 to 75% of people, especially in Western culture, struggle with this particular issue, in great part because we live and have lived for the last close to 45 years in an instant gratification based society. And so I feel it, therefore I should be able to do it, is the reaction level of most people. And there's actually research that says with each growing generation or each 20 years, that attention span to the correlation of actions and consequences, especially in Western culture, has gotten worse over time. So how that was handled in, let's say, 1987 versus 2007 is very different and not in a positive light, and how that's handled in let's say 2017 and 2027 might be very different as well and not in a positive light. There's a lot of reasons for that, but the ability to process emotions before reacting is a huge indicator of emotional stability and maturity. And so those are the things I wanted to cover today. Once again, if you have an audio you'd like to hear covered, please feel free to comment below. We are still running the COVID recovery special. That is, anybody who hears about my services through this channel can give me a shout out on social media at PO Perception and lock in at our low per session rate, which is $50, and you will be locked in at that rate going forward. That's something we're gonna do until the country reopens, whenever that is, if that is in the United States. We do take clients from all over North America. Sometimes we take them internationally as well, if the technological logistics can be worked out. So don't let distance be a negative there. But until next time, I remind you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.